Hello students. So in today's class we are going to discuss about the additional functions related to dictionary. And in the previous class we have discussed how to create a dictionary in three different methods and how to access the elements in a dictionary. And now let us discuss how to traverse a dictionary. So regarding this traversing concept, we have already seen traversing in many data types like string as well as in the list data type, right? So here in the dictionary also we are going to do the same concept. We are going to follow the same procedure, like you're going to access each and every element of a dictionary by using the traversing concept. So here you're going to make use of the for loop. And look at this example. Here they have created a dictionary with a variable d, and the keys, the respective keys has been given in the number form. So 1 2 3 and 4 are the keys, and string 1 2 3 and 4 here, they are the values. And now what we are going to do here is we are going to use a for loop. So for I in d, I is the control variable, d is the variable name which we have used for creating a dictionary. And now it is going to check whether the values are present in it or not, and we are going to traverse each and every data item by using this I control variable. So I in D, it will traverse with the first element, first data item. So as the element is present, what will happen? Print of, it will enter into the loop, and inside we have given print statement. So print of I colon we have given here inside the code. So it is a string, so it gets displayed as such. So in the place of I, the key 1, this key 1 will be displayed over here, that gets printed over here, followed by colon, followed by d of I. Means usually we use this method, we make use of the square brackets to access the values present in the dictionary, right? So d of I, if I give, what will happen? For d of I, in the for the first key we have the value 1, that is the string 1, that will be retrieved over here. Similarly it will traverse for the next element, it will move on to the next iteration, and in the next iteration 2 we have. So 2 and d means 2 gets printed, followed by that this colon, and followed by that we have d of 2. In the place of d of 2 we have the string 2, that will be displayed over here, retrieved and displayed here. Similarly for it will move on to the third iteration and fourth iteration. So once all the iterations are exhausted, it will come out of the loop. You got it? This is how it will traverse each and access each and every element present in the dictionary. This is one method. And the other method is you can directly make use of the variables key and value. You can directly give two different variables in the for loop itself. See here, they have created a dictionary over here, dict1 equal to Mohan 95, Ram 89 till Sangeeta 85. And for this, what we are going to do, we are using the for loop. So for key comma value, here we have given two control variables followed by in operator. Dict1 dot items, here items is the method which is used to retrieve the key value pairs from the dictionary which we have created already, right? So to retrieve each and every key value pair, we make use of this items method along with the variable which you have used for creating a dictionary. So dict1 is a variable which you have used here for creating a dictionary. Along with the variable name, you will be using items method. So here what they are doing, print of key colon is the string type, so it gets displayed as such. So what is the first key we have here? Mohan. So Mohan gets displayed first, followed by colon, and the value which is related to Mohan is 95. So 95 gets printed. Again it will enter into the loop for the second iteration. So second iteration Ram 89, that gets printed here. Similarly Sohel and then Sangeeta. So this is how it works. So you can traverse through a dictionary in two different methods. It is not that you have to use only one particular method and all. So you can make use of the square bracket method, or you can make use of this items method also. Got it? Now let us see the other functions related to dictionary. Before that, we'll get into an example of how to create a dictionary. So let us see how this works. Write a program to input total number of sections and stream name in 11th class and display all information on the output screen. So they have asked you to input total number of sections which is available in the school for and stream name along with that stream name in class 11. So this is how we have to display the output. So totally we have 5 sections, followed by each and every group you have to display it separately. If it is A group, you have to display the stream name, science with economics, or if it is B group, science with bio, or science with CS, commerce with max, and commerce with IP. So you have to retrieve these inputs from the user and then you have to display everything together by making use of the dictionary data type. So let us see how to work on this particular output. So by looking at it, see what they have done. Class 11 is the variable name, and we are creating an empty dictionary by using the dict parenthesis, that is the dictionary method. So we have assigned the dictionary method for the class 11 variable, which means we have created an empty dictionary. And inside this empty dictionary, obviously, in the previous classes we have discussed, we have to initialize some values, or we have to assign some values inside the empty dictionary, right? So now what we are going to do, n equal to int of input of enter total number of section in 11th class. So total number of section, how much ever you're going to give, that much time it gets repeated inside the loop. If you're going to give 4, it gets iterated 4 times. If you're going to give 5, it gets iterated 5 times. See, here they have given 5. Total number of section in class 11, 5 they have given. So 5 times it will ask you. It will progress within the loop again and again. You got it? So as you have given 5, 5 times it will ask you the section and stream name. For that we have given that, and then I is the control variable which we have initialized to 1, which we are going to use here inside the while loop. So I less than or equal to n. So n value is 5 now, as we have given 5 over here. So I value is 1, 1 less than or equal to 5. Now condition is true. So what will happen? It will enter into the loop, and inside what we are going to do, we are going to retrieve section and stream name from the user. So enter section and enter stream name, both you're going to assign it to the respective variables A and B. So see here, after this thing, enter total number of sections, we have given 5. Enter section means what will happen? First section they have given us A. Immediately it will ask you to enter the stream name. So stream name they have given here as science with economics for stream A. You got it? For the section A. And once you have entered both these things, the value will be assigned to the respective variable. And now what we are going to do, we are going to assign these values to this empty dictionary which we have created. So class 11 is a variable for which we have created an empty dictionary. So class 11 of A, which is by using the square bracket, what we will do, we will create a key, and B is the value which we have got here, right? So that B, you will be assigning it to the key A. Got it? So what will happen here, the science with economics will be assigned to A. Got it? So A will become a key and science with economic will become the value, right? So now we have initialized one value, one data item inside this dictionary, and I equal to I plus 1 represents, which is the second iteration. So it will move on to the second iteration. Now first value has been assigned, so like this it will get created here. See, class 11 is the variable for this. Inside the empty dictionary, first value will be created like this, and now what we are going to do, we are going to move on to the second iteration, I equal to I plus 1. So 1 plus 1 will become 2. So it will enter into the loop 2 less than or equal to n, that is 5. 2 less than or equal to 5 condition is true. So what will happen, again it will ask you to enter the section, enter the stream name. Again, once you give this, we will make use of this expression to assign the values inside the dictionary. So B colon science with bio, that will be assigned here inside the dictionary. Again it will move on to the third iteration. 2 plus 1 will become 3, 3 less than or equal to 5. So till 5 less than or equal to 5, it gets repeated again and again, and once this iteration is exhausted, once the condition becomes false, it will come out of the loop. So once 5 plus 1 equal to 6, 6 less than or equal to 5, if you check, the condition will become false and it will come out of the loop, and immediately it will follow up the statement which is following here the while loop. So straight away to the from the very first line, if you start a statement which that marks the end of the loop. So print of class followed by slash t, we have given here to provide horizontal space, 4 spaces, section, stream name. So all these things we have given here of string type. So what will happen, according to that it gets displayed like this. See, class 4 spaces, section 4 spaces, and stream name. As we have given here, it will act according to it, right? Now all the dictionary which we have created is temporarily getting stored inside this class 11 variable. Now we are going to retrieve everything and we are going to display here as a whole. So to display that, we are going to use for loop, right? So for I in class 11, so I is a control variable which we are going to traverse with inside the class 11 dictionary which we have created like this. So as values are present, what will happen? It will iterate with each and every value. So if I give print of 11 as a string, that gets printed there as such, 4 spaces. In the place of I, the key gets displayed, that is A gets displayed, followed by 4 spaces. Here class 11 of I means the first value, which is I, sorry, A. So in the first key A, what will happen? The associated value gets displayed like this, 11, which we have given here, that gets displayed 4 spaces, followed by the section, the first value A, key A, followed by the value which is associated with A, science with economics, gets displayed. Again, it will move on with the second iteration. So second iteration we have B. So B followed by science with bio gets displayed. Similarly, move on to the third iteration, C followed by science with CS. So this is how it works, and finally it gets everything gets displayed as a whole. You got it? So this is how you have to work on the dictionary concept to write a program on your own. I hope you understood this thing. Now let us see how to append values in a dictionary. Appending you know very well, which means adding values in a dictionary, right? So when you add values, always the value gets added only at the end of the dictionary. You cannot add anywhere in between. Also, you can add only one element at a time. Right, you cannot add 2 to 3 data items at a stretch. You can add only one element to the dictionary at a time, that too at the end of the dictionary. So let us see how it works. So the same kind of a syntax you will be using here, which syntax we have used to initialize the values inside the dictionary, inside an empty dictionary. The same syntax you will be following up here. See, dictionary name of key equal to value. So if you see here, they have already created a dictionary. Followed by that, now they are going to append a value inside this existing dictionary, right? So D1 of Thursday, they have given this Thursday is a key equal to this Thursday is the value which they are assigning it to this particular key. So what will happen when you give print of D1? This key and value together will be added at the end of this dictionary. See here, this is how it works. So appending is much similar to adding a value to a dictionary, right? But to the existing dictionary, you can add it. Got it? Even to add values to the empty dictionary also, we will be following the same method. And now updating elements. So updating is also known as modifying the existing key value pair, or you can even merge two dictionaries together. Got it? So updating means you can modify the existing key value pairs, or you can merge the another dictionary to an existing one. So here also you will follow up the same syntax. And now let us see, but the only difference is by using the key you will update or you will modify the value which is already present inside it. So by seeing an example you will understand. See here, already they have created a dictionary. Followed by that, dict of Ria. So Ria is already present here. This particular key I'm using it now. I'm going to change the value 12 of Ria to 28. You got it? So to change this value 12 to 28, I should make use of this key. As keys are immutable. Keys you cannot change at all. Only the values you can change. So if I give dict of Ria equal to 28, what will happen? This 12 will be replaced into 28. And if you give print of this particular variable dict, see here that change will be reflected over here. You got it? Even you can also change the values by using the key I have told you. But now see what they are doing here. Dict of Priya equal to 60. Check for the key Priya whether it is present here or not. The key Priya is not there at all. So what will happen here is it will consider this as appending the value at the last. So what will happen? This Priya followed by 60 will be added at the end of the dictionary like a key value pair. Yes, if the key is not present, it will be appended at the end of the dictionary. So this is how it works, updating elements in a dictionary. Got it? And I have told you updating elements can also be used for merging two dictionaries into one. So now let us see, two dictionaries can be merged into one by using the update method. There is a method called update. By using that, you can merge two different dictionaries into one. In this also, what will happen? The second dictionary values will be added at the end of the list. Yes, so the same thing will happen here also. See here, dictionary name 1 dot update of dictionary name 2. So dictionary 1 dot update of dictionary 2. This is how the syntax works, and let us see how this works here. D1 equal to D2 equal to two different dictionaries they have created, and here D1 dot update of D2 they have given, which is the second dictionary. I'm going to merge it to the first dictionary. So second dictionary values will remain the same as such. The changes will be reflected only in the first dictionary. So see here, if I give d1 dot update of d2 and if I give print of d1, see what is happening here. 1, 10, 2, 23, 30, that will be there as such, right? Followed by that, d2 I'm going to merge it here with the d1. So 440, 550, that will be added at the end of the dictionary. Yes, this is how it works. And if I give print of D2, the D2 value will remain as such. There will be no change in it. Yes. And now look at this example to see how this is going to work. In case if you come across two similar keys, that is in the first dictionary 110, 230 is there, and in the second dictionary also you have 110 and 2 followed by 20. Here the keys, if you come across the similar keys and if the values are different, which which dictionary you're going to merge to it, that particular the current dictionary value will be updated in the existing dictionary. So see here, now we have 20 here in dictionary 2. That 20 will be replaced by the 20 will be replaced in the place of 30. See here, d1 dot update of d2 I have given. So what will happen here if I give print of d1, 110, 110, the much similar key value pair is there, so nothing gets affected. So the same thing gets displayed here, and followed by that 230 is here. So what will happen in the key for the key 2, 30 will be replaced by 20, because this is the current value that will be replaced by that will be replaced in the place of 30. And 330 it is there already, 540 it is there, 660 is there. So 330, 330, two similar key value pairs are there, so it gets displayed as such, and nothing gets changed in the dictionary 2. So I hope you understood this. And now let us see how to remove an item from dictionary. So removing an item, actually it is much similar to deleting an item from the dictionary by using the delete command. So to delete an item from the dictionary, what we do here is either you can make use of the delete del command, or you can make use of the pop method. So to make use of the del command, del dictionary name followed by key. So this is the method you will be using, and in this existing dictionary, see how they are going to delete the key value pair. So if I give del followed by the dictionary name, that is a variable name, and inside the square bracket if I give the key ved, what will happen here is this entire key value pair gets deleted. So if I give print of a, this Wednesday key value pair will not be displayed here. Yes, and even in case if the respective key which you have given to delete, if it is not present in the dictionary, it will display an error stating it is a key error, because Friday, the Friday key is not there in the dictionary. So what will happen? It will state a key error. Got it? So this is how you can delete an element, remove an item from the dictionary. This can also be done by using the pop method. So this pop method we have discussed in the list data type, right? So when you make use of a pop method to delete an item from the dictionary or list, what will happen? The deleted item will be returned. So this is the syntax, a dic name dot pop of key. So what will happen? See here in this particular dictionary, they are trying to delete Tuesday. So if I give d3 dot pop of Tuesday, what will happen? The respective value will be returned, stating that this is the value which has been deleted. So if I give print of d3, it will not display the Tuesday key value pair, except that everything gets displayed. So it will return the deleted value. That is the nature of pop method. And in and not an operator, already we know very well that in and not an operator checks and returns a value in the form of true and false. So if the value is present, true will be written. If the value is not present, false will be written. So it is membership operation in and functions minimum maximum sum apply only to the keys in the dictionary. So see here, Thursday in A they are checking. So Thursday is present, this key is present in the dictionary, so true will be returned. And they are checking Friday in A. Friday is not there, so what will happen? It will return false. And if you check like Friday not in A means it is not there, yes obviously, so it will return true, right? So these are some of the operators and the methods related to dictionary. like traversing, appending. We have discussed today regarding traversing, appending the values or updating the elements in a dictionary, then how to remove an item from the dictionary using delete method and pop method. As well, we have discussed about membership operator in and not in. So in the next class, we will be discussing about some of the common dictionary functions and methods. I hope you understood this class, children. Thank you.